women's football, it has been becoming a much more respected sport, I would say, in recent years.
Yeah.
The women's England team, they've won Euro 2020, England's first major national success since 1966, which was amazing. And today, I have a woman who's respected the craft since a very early age. She even now has a career in it. Is the very multi-talented Charlotte Lynch. Hi.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. So I know that you also sing and you act, so you do a lot of things, but today we're here to talk about your football specifically. Reason being, I am always very intrigued by women that are in male dominated areas. Uh,
Hmm.
there's like a mystery around women that do things that men are supposed to do.
Yeah.
And are really good at it as well. And so I wanted to find out more about you and your faith and everything around that. So, first question, what is it that you love about football?
Oh, where do I begin? I think, like with most sports, football's a universal language, isn't it? So no matter where you come from, your background, and even if you can't speak the same language, like I've been on holiday and just had a ball in the beach, and then suddenly there's a football match going on. It unites people from various backgrounds, and I just love that. I love that it's very accessible. Um, that's one of my favorite things about it, to be honest.
You know, I never really thought about that. It is very universal. You can just bond and play it anywhere in the world and everyone knows the rules and that's kind of it. I've never really thought about it in in that way. That's great. I love that. Um, when the women, as I mentioned earlier, so the women's England team, they won Euro 2020. How did you feel as a woman who's been playing football and maybe you've seen that it hasn't been as celebrated as men's football? How did you feel in that moment?
I felt really happy. I think at that time, it was everywhere. It was being promoted, it was being televised, and you just couldn't deny the talent anymore. Sorry. So you had to put some respects on the women's game, and it was about time. So I'm pleased. I'm pleased with the ripple effects. People are talking about it a lot more. There's a lot more opportunities, and companies and football teams are really thinking, you know what, I need to get with the times and I need to make an avenue for young girls and young women coming up. So all positive for me. I loved it.
So it's good to hear, man. And like you said, the ripple effect, it seems like it's proper. People are still talking about it now, and
Mm.
you know, it's great to see. It's really great to see. Um, being a woman that does football, so I know that there must have been both positive and negative comments over the years. What are some of the ones that you've gotten?
I would say a lot of it's unspoken than spoken sometimes. So in college, I was the only girl in my class, and then we had the sports section. So being picked last when it's time to pick football teams. I think growing up, the usual, oh, she's a girl, she can't play, or can she play? A lot of questioning or a lot of looks and being underestimated. But you know what? I don't mind because I'm a dark horse. And then when I play, you'll
Silence.
have nothing to say.
I love that. How does it feel when you actually do prove people wrong? Because that must be like a really great feeling when someone might really underestimate you and think, oh, she can't play. She's just, and actually, you're really great.
Yeah, I think they're pretty shocked, but I think next time they'll not underestimate a woman just because she's a woman and
Yeah.
put some respect
Just
there.
respect on the women.
Hopefully.
Absolutely. So there must be additional pressures because being a footballer in general, there's a lot of pressures in terms of your body, the training,
Ah, tell
the
me
real
about it.
ones. But then being a woman on top of that, what are some
Mm.
additional pressures that you get in general?
I think the obvious one is the financial pressure. So the level that women can play and the equivalent men are being paid, whereas women are not. So there's a financial pressure. A lot of women are going from work to training and then back to work again in the morning. They're doing it 3, 4 times a week. Another thing is, I guess, family planning. How does that come into at a certain level of pregnancy? You got to stop playing football because it's just not safe anymore. And then the time of the month affects
Ooh,
your play. And I think I know one of the athletes was talking about it this week actually. So it affects how you play and it affects how you train.
So I don't train football or nothing like that, but I do try to go to the gym. And the time of the month thing is real. And I always have to really rate women that or people that have, periods, because that really does take it out of you.
Oh
And
yeah.
to be consistent in these things when you're dealing with just that alone, there's not enough said about it, I don't think. We just kind of manage it, but it is actually a massive, it drains your energy, you're in pain, like you're tired.
You don't feel so social.
You just don't want to talk to no one. I want to be in my bed. But so I really do have to respect and rate, people that just go out and continue life. Especially playing football as well, man, because I wouldn't be able to do it. Match or no match, I'm in bed. Like not involved. So getting into football then. So I know that you got into it through your church. Talk us through that.
I did. So my dad was actually, I must have been about 9 or 10. My dad was playing in the church league, but it was men's. So we kind of knew there was something going on, but didn't know if it was for children. So we just moved from London to Essex, and my mum was taking us, the kids, shopping in the high street. And the church, City Gates Church, was doing outreach in the community. And my mum thought, let me go and ask them if they have a children's one, just by chance. She went up to them. My brother was looking for a team at this point. It wasn't actually for me. My two brothers were looking for a team because we used to go church on Sundays. She go church on Sundays, and a lot of the boys' teams played on Sundays, so it was clashing. She was looking for a Saturday team. So she had a conversation. They said, yes, we actually do. It's quite a new team. So I went down to training, the boys and I, and the boys trained, my brothers, and I didn't, but I was desperate to. It was really hard to watch because you want to get involved. And I told my mum, and bearing in mind, I'm so shy, I was painfully shy at this time. I told my mum, I want to play, I want to get involved. And she went to the coach, Jim, at the time, rest in peace, Jim. And another coach was Ryan Gordon, who's still coaching now. He actually coached at my university. And with a bit of persuasion, they let me in because my mum said she's as good as the boys. She can play at that level. So they didn't have a girls team, and I was let in. And the boys in the team were so lovely to me. They were so kind. They really included me, and so did the coaches. And what a place to start. It was a great community.
Oh wow, that's great. I love that story, because you would maybe think that maybe the boys didn't want you there, or we don't want a girl playing football. But to be fair, even when I remember primary school, there was a girl in my primary school called Stacy, and she always used to play football, and the boys used to love it because she was good. They didn't care if she was a girl or not. She was good, and so they were like, "Yeah, come and play."
Exactly.
Like, if you're
Judge
good,
me on my ability, not my gender.
absolutely. Like if I'm good, I am good. Like let's just.
There you go.
So you are a Christian, and I've seen you sing, I think, a gospel track before on your Instagram. You were at the Premier Gospel Awards, which was lovely,
Amazing.
there. How important has your faith been through the years, in general, maybe just getting through life, but also when it comes to football too?
I think in life as humans, we all like something that grounds us and gives us that peace of mind. And as athletes, we're going into competitive situations. We need to be focused, we need to be settled, we need to be switched on. And for me, my faith grounds me, and to know that there's something bigger than me. There's a higher level, there's a higher being than I. That's where I draw my strength. And on the way to my football matches, I love putting on my gospel tunes, dancing, singing in my car. The words are so positive and empowering. Like those gospel tracks, like Cooldown music. I love Here's Fred Hammond, Melvillous, that get me in the mood to play football and to feel good about myself, feel grateful about life, and feel really positive. So that's part of my routine, every training, every match days in particular.
Oh wow, what's one of your favorite Cooldown music tracks?
Say So. You know why?
Ooh,
Because it says it ain't over till you say so. And for me, I'm going to keep playing football as I get older and older until my faith and God tells me, okay, you can relax now. But yeah, I can keep doing this. It's not over for me. I've felt like giving up many times, but I feel like it's still my time to play. So here we are.
What's kept when you have wanted to give up? What's kept you on the path?
I think what has stopped me from giving up in the tough times is knowing that God's given me this gift for a reason, and just being open-minded about what that reason is. Like there could be young players looking at me and thinking, oh, I feel quite inspired, or just turning up to training and having a chat with the girls and encouraging them and being positive or speaking into their lives, and just knowing that my life can make a difference in whatever capacity that may be stops me from giving up when I feel like giving up.
Oh, I love that. That's great. Um, so you've mentioned that your mom kind of pushed you into, getting onto the team initially. Parents that may have girls who really want to play football, what's what's the best support that the parents can give? What can they do to make sure that they don't restrict that talent and that skill and that desire?
I think now's the perfect optimum time for young female players to be getting involved in the game. Yeah, just encourage them, and give them the freedom to be expressive, like on the pitch. Don't shout at them too much or pressure them too much to the point where it becomes unenjoyable. So yeah, let them be free to explore what they like about the game, and also touch base with them regularly. Are they still enjoying it? How do they feel about it? How are their emotions with it? Because depending on what level you play, there's different levels of pressure. So they could still play at maybe grassroots where there's not so much pressure, but they're enjoying it rather than at a higher level.
So you were playing for Millwall FC,
Yes,
but you've recently been signed to Leighton Orient.
I have,
Very
yes.
exciting move. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I'm really looking forward to the season ahead. We've got great coaches, Danny Martin's there, and then we've got Olivia, who is the female development officer. So the players are good. Everyone's got good attitudes, and also the managers kind of care about player development as well. So we might not necessarily win a match or two.
Mm.
Hopefully we will.
Will.
But on the rare occasions that we don't, speaking of faith, it's about how did I develop? How did I play? Did I enjoy it? And you always want to keep that element of enjoyment in there, because what's the point otherwise?
What is the point? Hey, Charlotte, this has been great. So if we want to follow along your football journey or just your journey in general, because like I said earlier, you sing and you act as well. So those are things that people could see you doing too. Where can we do that?
I would love it if you followed me. You can follow me on Instagram. That's where I put a lot of my content, and that's Charlotte Lynch Freestyle, and that's Lynch for Lynch.
Wonderful. Thank you, Charlotte. It's been an absolute
Thank you so much for having me.